So good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee Chat. Today, we're going to be hearing more about our Gibson Kind program. The purpose of these meetings is really just to dive deeper into one of the United Way run programs so you can learn more about it, find out the impact it's making in the community, and hopefully feel really great about what United Way is doing. So with that, I'm going to introduce Craig Norling and Brielle Benzing, and they are actually the stars of the Gibson Kind program, and they will share a little bit more with you today.
Morning, guys.
Morning, everyone. Give me just one moment to share my screen. Pulling it up. Excellent. All right. Hopefully everyone can see that.
Yep, we got it. Perfect.
Awesome. All right, so let's jump in. Again, I'm Brielle. I've been with the program for a few years now. And I know Craig has been here even longer than I have. So we're super passionate about this program and the impact that it makes on our agencies and beyond. So a little bit about the Gibson Kind program. In general, we receive physical donations and we distribute them to our partner agencies at no cost to them. And we have taken in and distributed millions of donations since this program has started. We kind of take a little bit of everything, a lot of furniture, office and school supplies, appliances, electronics, clothing, kind of a bit of everything. If you ever visit our warehouse, you'll see for yourself that there's a great variety of donations for sure. We take new and used items. We take from both businesses and individuals. So really a great diversity of things that we can offer to our agencies. And we do provide tax receipts to all of the donors if they request them. So it's really nice for businesses. We have a lot of great long-standing partners. And the reason why this program was created is almost as like an extension of the monetary funding that we provide to our agencies. So instead of an agency putting money towards a new desk, we can provide them with great looking furniture at no cost to them, and then they can really focus on the programs. So that is our goal, is to get a lot of things out at no cost so that they can focus on scholarshiping more kids or whatever it may be. That really is the backbone of what their mission is. And I'll have Craig talk a little bit about the history of it.
So I started, it'll be 4 years in December. And then one day Hannah just gave me a call and asked if I would come help out moving some stuff. And that was right after Hurricane Irma, I believe. And so we were doing a lot of hurricane relief stuff and delivering a lot of furniture and beds and dressers and tables and stuff like that. And so that's how I got started. I know the program was around about a year before that. And it's kind of like Madison said earlier today, like it's exploded ever since. We have done, as you can see there on the screen, since 2016, we've done 2.1 million items donated with a value of 14.1 million. Back in 2017, 2018, when I first started, we were working out of a unit, not even a warehouse. We didn't have a warehouse at the time, but it was just a building by a Guitar Center off Fowler. And it was a difficult process because all we had was like a single door and trying to get everything in and out of just a single door. We didn't have double doors then. And now I'll talk a little bit about it later, but for now we have a warehouse. And we receive donations from anybody and everybody. And one thing that's great about the program now is we have a steady stream of donations coming in. We have a lot of community partners where they constantly just give us a call and we're there to pick up their donations on a weekly or monthly basis. A lot of our board members, same deal. They know what to do with their items. So, and then I do want to thank Carol Beasley, especially for always, giving us the funds for our first truck and always making sure that we have the tools to do the job. So thank you, Carol.
You're welcome.
And just to show visually the growth over the years, I think this is super impactful. Again, we started pretty humbly in 2016 with under $500,000 in the year. And just it's so steadily has grown over the years. Last year, our biggest year ever, at over 5.2 million. A lot of that was PPE for the community, which we were so excited to be a part of as well. But it's so nice to be able to make this impact on the agencies and have them be so appreciative. And then even beyond the agencies, we've started this year working with Rapid Rehousing. We found we had a lot of residential furniture, so we have partners through them and are able to provide furniture for these households at no cost to them. So that's another great addition that we've been able to add recently as well. So,
and Brielle, if I could just jump in real quick, because not everyone may be familiar with what rapid rehousing is, but over the course of the pandemic, I'm sure all of you saw in the news that homelessness across our community was really becoming a growing and spotlighted issue. And so we have partnered very closely with Lee County Human and Veteran Services, and they contract with about 7 other agencies like Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, to help get individuals, families that are homeless into housing, affordable housing, and get them case managed. But of course, getting them into a home, but they're sleeping on the floor is not the end goal, right? So we're able to supplement that by giving them furniture. So dining sets, you know, chests of drawers and things, sofas, you know, items that may not come to mind when you're thinking like, okay, we got to get this family that's, you know, living in a park, we have to get them into a home. You know, there's a lot of pieces that come into place. And so those case managers are focused on, you know, getting them employment, getting them stable. And so we get to do the heavy lifting of the, no pun intended, but the literal heavy lifting of providing that furniture to make sure that they're not just housed, but they're in a true home. And so we're thrilled that we're able to add that to this Gibson Kind program this year. So sorry, Brielle, I didn't want to cut you off, but I wanted to make sure that everybody knew what that actually meant.
Absolutely. No, that's great. And then Craig already mentioned a little bit about this, but more on our location that we're currently in.
Craig. And then you can like see all of our toys that we have. So that's a warehouse. It does a little bit better now. We're trying to add a lot of beautifications to it and paint it and add some landscaping around it. But our limitations with this program have kind of disappeared. You know, we finally got a warehouse, and you see like there's a little bit of a loading dock, and we have a forklift now, and obviously we've had the box truck for a few years, and we talked earlier about getting another one. And so when we get donations, a lot of times they come on a semi truck and they require either a loading dock or a forklift. And it was a complicated process. I mean, like sometimes it was a 2 or 3 day process just to try to figure out how we're going to get to the donations, receive them, and then get them to one of our locations. And now it's easy. You know, we have the warehouse with loading dock, have the forklift, and so we can receive donations and get them out on a much quicker basis. So the limitations are, like I said, are gone.
And to add to that too, even just this year alone in 2021, we've had to move out of 2 of our temporary locations. So it's so nice now to know that we're in this lease for a number of years, that we will be here and not have to move out, which is fantastic, because that just adds so many man hours when you have to take all of your inventory and move it somewhere else, especially when a lot of things are on pallets and things like that. So we're so grateful for this more permanent solution, at least for a few more years. So it's definitely been a game changer for us overall. So the next big thing, which was huge for us in 2021, it's a long-term dream that came to reality. And it's really just overhauled our entire process from top to bottom. So in the past, what we would do is we would get an item, or a lot of items, and we would have to email out to all of our agencies a picture and say, we have this. And then I would get like 40 emails back saying, I want it. But there were 40 people and there's only one item. So it was not a very efficient system. So I had this long, big dream of creating a website. So we built that in 2021 that houses all of our inventory and is viewable to all of our agencies 24/7. So they can go on, and you can kind of see what we have available. They're able to sort and search for things. So if they need a desk, they can search that and just get all the desks that we have. And then we have details on every item so that they can ensure that the dimensions are correct, that it'll fit their space and work out for them. A lot of these things are brand new and in excellent condition, beautiful stuff. So it's really nice that they can see what we have at all times. And the goal of this too is to reach more of our agencies, encourage ones that haven't utilized the program in the past to check in, because it makes it so easy for the agencies to see what we have at any given time. And I think it's really working. Because so far we launched this at the end of January, and we've had so far 227 orders, and that is 52 different agencies. So we've seen a lot of new agencies use it. They might not have known they needed something, and then they see it on the website and they're like, oh, we've been looking for that. So that's been really exciting. And then once they check out, it's super easy for them. Everything is free. They get a confirmation email. We get a packing slip, and then we're able to contact the agencies, schedule either a delivery or coordinate a pickup with them from our warehouse. And it's just been so user-friendly, I think, but a great way to get things out. So that's been a huge focus for us this year, is getting this system in place. And here's a nice testimony from Healthy Start, Sheila at Healthy Start. They kind of completely renovated their office in the last few months with our furniture. So they say, we now have a clean and professional space to host meetings and have clients pick up items. And they're just super grateful for this, not having to spend any money to have a whole fresh space, which is really what we love to see. So it's been really great to move forward with that. And we hope to just continue to reach more and more agencies. We're able to send out little blasts when we have new items, but then they can go on and see if it's still available. So it gets rid of all of that, inefficiencies. So super excited about that as well.
So as nonprofits, one of the biggest concerns for donors is the money being spent wisely. I know donors like to see low overhead expenses and things like that. And so as nonprofits, we're often getting the hand-me-downs from other places, or a desk may be there. I've been there in the organization for 20 plus years, and it's seen much better days. And it's hard to take that balance of being in a professional space, making sure that you're projecting that image that you really want to, but then not spending money on it. And this has allowed the agencies just such a great way to even just, like they said, offer that. And the employees, my goodness, I mean, you'd think it was Christmas when an employee gets a brand new desk in a nonprofit. It really is something special, and they truly appreciate it. So I know we were talking about some of the brand new stuff. Could you guys explain, I know a lot of times banks, they're notorious for updating their look, feel, furniture, everything. What happens if somebody wants to do that?
Craig, do you want to jump in on that?
Yeah, so I mean, simply, one thing that's really nice is banks, attorneys' offices. I'm just trying to think, doctor's office. I'm trying to think of a few other ones that we've gotten. When they do want to update their office, then a lot of times they will call us and donate all their items, which is really nice because a lot of it is decor, which our agencies, they don't have a budget for it. And so when we have pictures or vases and plants and there's any sort of decor like that, just to make our agency's office more attractive, it's really nice.
And so Craig, you'll actually go and in one of those lovely box trucks from Carol Beasley. So thanks again, Carol. But you'll take that box truck and you'll go and you will pick up those items from those locations. So it makes it really easy for the donors. Really what they have to do is just pick up the phone, give us a call, and then we'll get it scheduled and take care of the rest. And the best thing is it's also a tax deductible donation as well by giving those items to us.
Exactly. And so I know that during the pandemic, in 2020, when everything shut down, you guys got some interesting calls from Hammond Stadium, places like that. Can you explain a little bit about how Gibson Kind of went outside of the box during the beginning of the pandemic?
Yeah,
I wasn't here for the beginning of it, so I'll let you talk about it.
Well, I mean, it was interesting because so a lot of our, everything shut down. I feel like so a lot of our agencies not necessarily shut down, but started working from home. But then that was right at the time of spring training. So like you said, him and Sandy, they had a lot of leftover hot dogs and hot dog buns, and I'm just trying to think what else we picked up. I think ketchup and mustard and bratwurst and all this stuff. And so really we stopped doing well, we still do Gibson Kind stuff, but stopped doing the Gibson Kind and really did a lot of food rescue stuff. And so we started going to restaurants and, like you said, Hammond Stadium. We went to JetBlue a couple times, and started working with Midwest to distribute food.
And that's one of our local food banks in our community that provides food to all of the food pantries. So it kind of shifted gears out of necessity from doing these physical items to food rescue, which is not typically in our arena of service, but we saw the need. And just like the PPE, that's something, if you go back 2 years ago, who among us, other than Sally Jackson, maybe could have said what PPE actually stood for? But now, of course, we all are very familiar with that. So just like we all had to do the pivot, as everyone said, everyone's sick of hearing that, but this program had to pivot as well to really find those the niches of service and need.
Yeah, it was definitely. I think, Craig, you woke up every day not knowing exactly what you were going to be experiencing, especially in spring and summer of 2020. So we talked a little bit about the food rescue. And one of the great things, too, is we weren't only working with Midwest Food Bank, but places like Community Cooperative, they were mission focused and they were the boots on the ground, getting the food out the door. And so when a place like the casino calls and says, we've got food and will you come get it? And we could bring it to the people who were the boots on the ground. We're not out there actually distributing the food. That's not what we do. But we were able to save time and energy for them to get them the much needed resources so they could continue to do what they needed to do. And also operations changed at some of our food pantries, and no longer could you pick up just a little bit of food for your local food pantry. It came on a pallet. And a lot of our agencies didn't have the ability to go pick up a pallet or the manpower time to actually break down a pallet, bring several cars, put it in there, and get on their way. So Craig actually helped some of our agencies with that as well while those operations changed. So Gibson Kind really has the gamut from furniture to clothes to sometimes food, PPE. Is there anything else, Brielle, Craig, that maybe your most memorable item you picked up or the biggest difference something made?
Oh, that's a good question. I think Craig has seen a lot more of the odd side of it because he's usually the one going to pick up.
Well, I remember you guys got a bunch of waders, right? The waders that you use for fishing and that kind of stuff. So, stop and think, what would we do with a bunch of waders, right? I mean, that's just not something people need. Exactly. Yeah. Craig, explain a little bit about that.
I don't remember the connection. I don't know how that happened.
I think Madison told us about it.
Madison?
Yeah.
We've reached out to FGCU. They do a lot of environmental studies and they have a need for that, so no item is, be careful what you wish for, but no item is too unique to find a home for it. Years ago, we had a John Deere tractor lawnmower donated to us. And, people would say, what the heck is United Way going to do with that? But we were able to get that over to special equestrians to, mow their fields. At one point, years ago, I think we had a dance floor come through us, and it was like one of the, kind of like a DJ dance floor that they set up. And we were able to give that to a youth program that did dance classes as part of their program. We've had beautiful pianos come through us. I mean, things that are very unique and niche, but there is a home for it. We work with over 100 agents. We fund about 100, but there are community partners that are not necessarily on those day-to-day United Way umbrella agencies that we will find a home for these items. So if you have something that you think would be a fit and you would love to see go to good use across the community, please reach out to Craig and Brielle, and we will make that happen. We will be the connector for that.
Let me jump in. What you are all seeing is the beauty of the United Way as the organization, because the United Way knows all of the agencies and has such a close relationship with them. First of all, they come up with unique and flexible ways to meet the needs. And secondly, when something shows up, the United Way knows what everybody needs, and they're able to say, oh, this lawn tractor needs to go over to special equestrians, or this item needs to go over there, or there's this unique opportunity for food. Let's pitch in and do that today. This is why I'm so passionate about the United Way, is because they truly get everybody working together. And by doing that, the entire agency community is able to accomplish just dramatic amounts more. And so that's the beauty of the United Way. That's why we're here to do what we do. And that's why you all are such great supporters. And I'm going to take one step back before, or to the very, very beginnings of the Gibson Kind, because Carol and I were involved there. Hannah came to us and said, we've got this thing happening where businesses are calling us up and saying, we got this stuff we want to get rid of. Can you do something? And Hannah would say, sure. Now what? And so they'd had somebody who'd loan them a box truck, and then they'd have to haul it down to somebody else's office and try to store it there while they sorted it out. And she said, we need our own truck, and we need our own space, and we need a person, a live body to coordinate all this. And Carol stepped up and said, I got you. And Carol pitched in and said, we'll fund a salary. And Carol bought the first box truck. And that is what got the Gibson Kind program started. And the funny story with the special equestrians is actually one of our clients gave the lawn tractor to the United Way. And then another client of mine we were talking, and she is a volunteer at Special Equestrians, and she said, Corey, you wouldn't believe, we just got this lawn tractor. And I was like, this is wonderful. So first shout out is to the United Way, their ingenuity, their knowledge of their agencies, their flexibility, their passion for meeting the needs of the community is so represented in the Gifts of Kind. And the second shout out is to Carol, who said, I got you. I'll make this work.
Thank you, Corey. And I just want to end this, unless there are any other questions, with one thing that actually just happened in July. We did Christmas in July for our teachers. And this was, of course, the brainchild of our community impact team. They're always thinking. And sorry, a lot of the donations we receive, we get stuff from Bed Bath & Beyond, right? I'm trying to think of some of the places. So we get stuff, and a lot of it's decor. So it may be Christmas decorations, Halloween decorations, little giveaways, cork boards. So we were able to pull all this stuff together at our Bell Tower location, almost make it like a shopping trip for the teachers before school started. And they were able to come in and pick and choose things for their classrooms. It was beautiful. I mean, ladies, you were there longer than I was. And I know, Craig, you had to keep hauling stuff in. Why don't you share a little bit more about that experience?
It was just really wonderful because, we all know that teaching is a hard profession. Sometimes it's a thankless profession in some cases. And, this past year, teachers were really having to be outside of the box. And so allowing them to come through Bell Tower and take, literally, there were giant giant bags that they were just filling with items for their classrooms, items for themselves, decor, school supplies. We had printers, we had all sorts of items that they were just able to shop for. And I use my fingers here because it was all free. They were able to take these items and, throughout the day, we had hundreds of teachers come through and they were just, we had tears, we had disbelief. They just couldn't believe that the community came together through their generosity with these donations, through our partnership with the Foundation for Lee County Public Schools, through our partnership with the Lee County School District to make this a reality. And we also did a raffle where teachers were able to enter for personal items such as dining sets, Christmas trees, which they could use at home or in their classrooms. And so through that side of it, Gibson Kind, we were able to provide about 200, I think, pieces of furniture to the teachers through that.
Yeah, the
so
teachers loved that.
Yeah, it was just really just an overwhelmingly feel-good event. And we have the amazing opportunity to be able to provide special events like that throughout the year and throughout the history of this program. So thank you, Janine, for bringing that up.
Yeah. And more recently, we teamed up with the Price Foundation and with Finemark, National Bank and Trust, and Midwest Food Bank. And we're currently delivering snacks on a weekly basis to Lee Health for the healthcare workers through the Gibson Kind program as well. So, just lots of great stuff going on. It's an out of the box program, a little bit of everything. So just remember, if you have something that you would like to donate in a value, reach out to Brielle and Craig. We will make sure we will do our best to find a home for it and make that connection. So if there are any other questions at all, no? Okay, well, we hope all of you have a great day.
Can I ask one question, Janine?
Sure, Bill, go ahead.
How do we expand the base of donors? Like, I understand you have tremendous connections going forward, but how do you actually raise awareness that the program exists and the types of items that you would be interested in? Is that available to the community? I know it's probably something on the website, but how do you expand the donor base?
That's an excellent point to make, Bill, because it is kind of hard to get the word out. And we do have a lot of agencies out there who are also collecting things and then they put them in their thrift stores and stuff like that. So we don't want to be in competition with them, but a lot of times as well, when a bank donates, they can't have those items go and be resold. And so that's where our, niche is, that we are able to do that and not resell them. So we are trying to get the word out among businesses. This is actually one of our first steps to let this program be out there and known across the community. And I think possibly reaching out to some of these civic groups, the chambers as well, would probably be one of our best steps moving forward, just to get the word out.
And stores are our sweet spot. We have a lot of Bells and Publix and Target. We just started with Walmart. So those stores where it's brand new items coming from stores is fantastic. And a lot of times they provide values, which really helps us as well. So I've been working on reaching out to a lot of the businesses to see if it's something they're interested in, because it can't hurt to ask, reaching out and say, do you have anything that you're not going to use, or you're allowed to donate Vans, shoes, things like that. So we are working towards that for sure, and opening up that as well. So
Right. Thank you.
Work in progress. Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? thank you again for joining us for Coffee Chat. We have one more, I believe, next week, and that's our community partnership schools. Some amazing stuff going on with that program as well. So we hope you can join us, and we hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.